Now, in that classroom, when you've clicked on the link, you'll be asked to put your name. I think it'll say enter new name. Put your name in, and it will take you to, it's like the Microbit website, but we've set up the main blocks for you. Now, there's no code in them, but we'll talk you through what to code. The code for each card is also displayed below each card, so that if you feel you've got out of step, you can look at that. But please just ask, okay? Now, I need to get a minute here to set up this link for you. So I'm going to copy the link into the chat on the Google Meet. Okay, so that is the link there. If you click on that link, and someone can tell me if this is working or not, you'll then be asked to put your name in.
Yep, it's working for me, Maggie.
Thank you. And if you give us a thumbs up, anyone else to say that you got in and you've been able to put your name in, and you should then see the Microbit website with the 5 blocks. We've kind of set up almost like a wee template. That's great. I'm getting lots of thumbs up and on fire here. That's perfect. Brilliant. Okay, so now we're going to take each of these cards one at a time. I'm going to explain it, and then I'm going to tell you what you need to do in your classroom to see, to set up that design from that card onto your Microbit classroom. And I think I can keep track of people. Yes, I've got people in the classroom, so I can see what you're doing. Okay, so now that we're in the Microbit classroom, you've got your name and everything set up, we're now ready to look at card 1. Okay, so this is our starting point here. And let me kind of see if I can zoom in on that a wee bit so we can see card 1 a wee bit clearer. Yep, is that a bit better for everyone? You can see that on the board now. So the first thing we're going to do, it's a process, it's not an input, it's a process. We're going to create or make, you could say, the 2 variables, okay? And the variables that we're going to make are species 1 and species 2.
Is this the meaningful names you were talking about?
These are the meaningful names to do. So what I want you to do is go to your Microbit classroom. Okay, and under the variable menu item, you'll find that in your kind of block library, choose variables, and a window will appear. Type species 1 and click on the green OK button. Okay, and then do exactly the same for species 2. Type species 2 once you click make variable and click on the green OK button.
So nothing has actually happened when I've done that? Like my Microbit's not doing anything?
That's okay. That's okay. You won't see, nothing has happened in this. It's all happened in the background there. So what it's done, if we can think of what's going on inside the computer here, it's labeled 2 of those boxes in memory, one called species 1 and one called species 2. And we will use them later, but they've made now, we've created them now. So you can see at the bottom of that design card, I've just put the make a variable block that we've used. So we're now on to the second part. Now, this is, again, we talked about this in our Unplugged lesson, where we have to initialize a variable, okay? That means we've got to give it a starting value. And I think Connor had mentioned this in one of his feedback comments, how important this is, because if it doesn't have a starting value, you can't add anything to it. The computer has just labeled this box. There's nothing in it. So we can't add 1 onto it if it doesn't know what's inside it. So we have to give it a starting value. So from our card, the process here is we're going to set both of species 1 and species 2 to 0, and at the bottom you can see the variables that we're going to use are species 1 and species 2. Now underneath that you can see the block of code that relates to that. So it's going to be on the on start blue block that you're going to bolt these two blocks into. So to do this, go to the variable menu again and click and drag, and I think it says the set species 2 to 0, okay? And position it inside the blue on start menu, okay? Repeat this, but use the drop-down menu to change species 2 to species 1 and put it into the on start blue block code.
So is this like when we're setting our tally marks back to 0 and then plug
Yes.
it? Right.
Yeah, exactly. And your code should look like the code between card 2. It doesn't matter if they're round the other way, if you've got species 2 first and species 1. Okay.
Yeah, I've got that, okay. So why does species 2 come up when you go to the variable menu then?
So I think that's just because it was the last one you created. But
Alright.
that wee drop-down menu beside it is where you can change it to the other variable name. Okay. Everyone okay so far? So we're now moving on to our design card 3. And this time we've got some input. So when the button A is pressed, what we want the computer to do is add 1 to species 1. Okay? And the variable we're using here is species 1. Now, you can see the code is below your design card there. So from the variables menu, grab the change species 1 by 1 block and bolt it into the pink on button A. Okay? You may have to change the variable to species 1 if it's set at species 2, but your code should look exactly like the code below the design card 3.
Yeah, I think I've got that okay. Does anybody need any help from us? Just let us know.
Nope, that's great. We're going on to card 4. Okay, and card 4, very similar to card 3, but we're doing it for species 2 now. So our input is button B has been pressed. The process is we're adding 1 to species 2, and the variable we're using is species 2. So from your variables menu, grab the change species 2 by 1 block and bolt it into the pink on button B pressed. Okay? You may have to change the variable name, but your card should look like the card below, the code below card 4. On button B pressed, change species 2 by 1.
Yeah, I think it's really coming together now. I'm starting to see how it all pieces together.
Great. So we've done our input, our pressing, we've updated our counts. So now we're ready to do the output and display the results of our pressing these buttons. So remember from our spec, we said if button A and B was pressed, then we wanted to show species 1 count. So the input we're giving it is button A and 1B is pressed. We want to show, so our output is going to be the species 1 count, and the variable that we use is species 1. So we're going to use a different menu block from now. We're not using the variable one, and it's from the basic menu. Grab the show number block and bolt it on button A plus B pressed. Okay. Now at the moment, if you leave it like that, you're not going to show anything. What do we want to show though?
So we're wanting to show the scores.
For species 1, yeah.
Yeah, so for species 1 when we press both, yeah.
Yeah, so from the variable menu, click and drag the species 1 variable block. It's just a red block that has the variable name in it, okay? And drag that into the show number block in your pink on button A plus B press block. And your code should look like the code below card 5.
Yeah, I think I've got it now. Sorry, I got a bit distracted there for a second.
That's okay.
But yeah, no, it's good. It's looking good.
Right. Okay, so the last one to do was to show species 2 count, and we were going to use the shake for that. So our input is, if it's shaken, we're going to output the species 2 count, and the variable that we use is species 2. So again, you need to grab from the basic menu, grab the show number block, the blue block, and bolt it into the on-shape block. And then from the variable block library, click and drag the species2 variable, just the red species2 variable block, and bolt it onto the show number block. And your code should now look like card 6, the code for on-shape.